Hi guys, I hope you're well. I've been called out to this Vaillant Ecotec Plus 838, I believe it is. Let's have a double check. Yep, Ecotec Plus 838 R4. And it's got an intermittent fault of F28 and F29. Previously when I came out to it, when you reset it, it works perfectly fine, and then this fault appears again. It happens several times a day, but after each reset it just goes back to normal. So a couple of things I noticed on it. One was that the ignition electrode seal is not in the best of condition, so I've got another ignition electrode for it. This is interruption of supply or flame not detected when the boiler is trying to light up. Now, before I change the electrode, I'm going to check the actual lead, ignition lead as well, to make sure that's intact. Very rarely these things go faulty, but I'm going to have a quick look at that as well. And change the electrode, because that's an easy solution. I've checked that there is no interruption to gas supply. Check that it ignites every time. But I'm suspecting it could well be either the ignition electrode or the lead that's gone faulty, but we will just double check that. So the fault, as you can see, is there, F28. If you have a look at the fault history, for that you go to installer level, you put the code in, fault list, and the last 10 faults are all 28 this time. Previously when I came it was a mixture of 28 and 29. So let's just delete these. So we go back to it. And if I reset it before we do anything to it, it'll most likely fire up. Well, let's see. Okay, we can create a demand to make it very simple, and that will fire up. Alternatively, let's see if I can find in installer level a section whereby you can check different options. Is it test programs, function menu? So that's internal pump, three-way valve, we don't need this. Fan. So for example, fan, if you wanted to check that just to see if the fan comes on or not, you can select it, it's off. If you turn it on, the fan comes on, and you can see on screen, and it even tells you the RPMs. If I cancel that, move from fan to cylinder charging pump, which we don't have, circulation pump, external pump, and the burner. Let's select it. It's off, showing us 27 degree. Let's turn it on. The boiler should go through a sequence and the burner should light up. Oh, let's see. Yep. Okay, so it's attempting, it's lighting up, I can hear it, and then it's going out. So it seems like the fault is persistent this time, which is a good news. When the fault is there, you can find it. If it just resets every time, then it's very difficult, but let's see. Yeah, it's attempting. I think that was fourth attempt, third or fourth. And it should go to lockout soon. As you can see, it actually comes on and then it goes off because the temperature is rising as well. So now it's gone to possibly a fault lockout again, and it's going to show the fault code. Let's go back. Yep, F28 start of failure. So what I'm going to do next is I'm going to turn the boiler off. Let's just turn it off. Make sure boiler's gone off. It's difficult to record with one hand, but let's see. Well, it's not difficult to record with one hand, but to do the job and to record at the same time is difficult. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to remove this ignition lead from here, disconnect it from here, as well as where it's connected to ignition electrode, and I'm just going to check that first. I'm going to change the ignition electrode anyway because I'm not happy with the seal. But let's just double check that the leads are all okay. So let's just disconnect it from here. So that's one end. The other end is connected there. So let's just hold that there. My multimeter set to ohms. It's on auto range, so it's mega ohms. But what we're expecting is around 0.9 kilo ohms or 900 ohms resistance between this point on this lead and the head. Normally you will find that because it's one continuous cable, it shouldn't really have any resistance on it, but the head, this bit here, that's what creates some resistance. So you're expecting around 900 ohms or 0.9 kilo ohms. Let me just disconnect this earth as well so I can take this lead a bit closer at the top so I can show you what I'm doing. I wish there was an easier way of doing this, but that's one end. That's the other end. And the reading is 16 mega ohms. And it's climbing. And it shouldn't be as high as that. As I said, maximum we are looking at around 900 ohms or 0.9 kilo ohms. And that resistance is way too high. And that is the reason why the boiler's not detecting flame. So we're gonna have to change that. Bear with me, I'll go grab another lead from the van and I'll be back with you shortly. Okay, so I've got another lead from the van. It's from another Ecotec Pro, I believe. A slightly different lead, but I'm just going to show you that the reading on this one, if I can make good enough contact, that should be better. 0.99 kilo ohms or around 900 ohms. Whilst the lead that's on the boiler, we'll just double check it, but that's giving us around 16-17 mega ohms, which is way too high. I'll change that meter to mega ohms range and let's see. The struggle's real, guys, with one hand. Okay, let's see. Same again, as you can see. So that's really high reading. Okay, so that flimsy part's over now. What we're going to do is we're going to quickly change the lead, and I'm going to put new ignition electrode in as well, and I'll let you know if the boiler starts to work. So the new lead and new ignition electrode is now in. Let's turn the boiler on and let's see if it comes back to life. So as you can see, still the same fault code or lockout. Let's see. So again, we need to create a demand. Let's just create a demand using control this time. Okay, so we have a heating demand on now. There you go. So fired the first time, holding flame, not attempting to relight or anything. That's all good news. Now, this ignition electrode, I think the actual culprit is that ignition lead. As you can see, the ignition electrode is not in the best of condition. I've changed it to a new one now, and that will do the job. But yeah, that's all. Thanks for watching. If you have any questions, as always, just drop me a line and I will try to get back to you. But thanks a lot. Take care. Bye bye.